Bonjour, brought to you by Safaricom, a proud sponsor of Team Kenya at the Olympics.
Now, welcome to another special edition of Bonjour, and as you can see, it is almost over solo party to some extent because Mr. Elias Makori has traveled all the way to Lille for the game between the United States and South Sudan. Now that is just one of the most highly anticipated fixtures in terms of the men's Olympics basketball because of the history between the two sides. Remember, the United States almost lost to South Sudan in that pre-Olympics friendly, a very, very entertaining clash. Now, those two sides are facing off once again in Lille. Now, Elias Makori will be following all the action in the city of Lille, while I'm still here in Paris, obviously following the other action that is happening as well. Remember, the South Sudanese team, that's a team that has gotten a lot of support from the entire African continent. A lot of the Africans are really, really keen on seeing whether they can be able to pull an upset against the giants of international basketball, that is the United States. That fixture is definitely going to be highly anticipated between the two sides. Another fascinating thing is the fact that for the South Sudanese, well, they felt like their game against Puerto Rico had a lot of unnecessary intrigue, especially when it comes to the national anthem. And we managed to speak to the Secretary General of the South Sudanese Olympic Committee just to get their reflections regarding that small mishap regarding their national anthem.
They came up again. So I was talking to Paul Thomas Bach to urge the organizing committee, and this apology should not be coming to the Olympic Committee. We want the apology to go to the government of South Sudan, to the entire people of South Sudan, through the Minister of Youth and Sport. Because the Minister of Youth and Sport is going to present that one to the Council of Ministers, and the Council of Ministers will present it to the Assembly. Because the National Assembly, they have asked the Minister of Foreign Affairs why this thing happened. So we want to emphasize that this mistake is not from the Foreign Affairs, nor from the Olympic Committee of South Sudan. It is from the organizing committee of the 2024, Paris 2024. And we don't want this thing to happen again.
Now, there's another Kenyan who's a very interesting story. She'll be competing at the Olympics. She was previously a javelin thrower, and then she decided to put that aside and to focus on the martial arts. She's a judoka, and she'll be competing at the Olympic Games in the judo competition. She's a very fascinating story in terms of how she was able to transition from doing the field event in athletics, and then she transitioned to doing judo, and she'll be chasing glory in Paris, hopefully trying to make more history in terms of whether she can be able to progress much, much further. But aside from that, obviously, she's very keen on ensuring that it's not just to be to putting the numbers, but she wants to be as competitive as the rest of the teams that are going to be participating here at the Olympic Games.
I'm also asking myself, why judo? But I just found myself in judo. I got my friends who came and talked to me. Wakaniambia, Zedi, we need you. Tunaona wewe unajituma sana kwa mazoezi pale nje. Tungeomba sana ukuje ujiunge na sisi because hawako na enough hawako na ladies, especially in our team, ulinzi team. And wakati coach aliniongelesha, nikamwambia, kwanza nilimuuliza what is judo. Kaniambia, just come and see. You will love it and you will make it. So the first time I joined judo, for the first month, I almost give up. But judo ni uchungu sana, especially mazoezi yake. For the first time zile unaingia kwa mazoezi, every part of the body wa inauma sana. But I keep on encouraging myself. They also keep on encouraging me. And judo is the best. Yeah. My son keep on telling me, Mom, how much will you win for the Olympics? So nimekuwa nikimwambia to just pray for me. So yeye kwanza anaongojea medal, anaongojea number 1, nothing more. And my husband also keep on inspiring me. He's also an athlete, and anajua matunda yake ya judo imekuanga aje, amekuwa kinisupport. My parents also, they pray for me, they support me mentally, spiritually. My brothers, my sisters, everybody in the family, they keep on pushing me, they keep on encouraging me to focus and to play well. Yeah. The first competition ambayo niliqualify last year, niliweza kupata points na ikakuja ikanipea to be the top ranking in Kenya. So wakati tulienda the first competition huu mwaka ambayo ilikuwa Africa Championship Open Egypt, nikashinda na nikapata points. So the coaches came to me na wakaniambia, Zedi, you can make it. Work for it and do your best. So mi nilikuwa najua Olympics ati ni kitu tu naingia. So wakati nilipata hii habari, hata mimi mwenyewe I was really shocked. Sikuamini.
Now, I managed to speak to the president of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, Paul Tergat. Now, he was reflecting on the Olympics because, remember, the Olympics began about a few days ago on the 26th of this month. Kenyans have been in action in different sporting disciplines. We had the rugby sevens team that finished 9th in the men's rugby sevens. And we have the athletics program that is beginning this coming weekend. So we interacted with him just to get his sentiments regarding watching and participating and being involved in the Olympics, because remember, he's been in the Olympics for many years as an athlete, and now he's being involved with the Paris Olympics as an administrator. Let's listen into what he had to say regarding the Olympics. How does it feel for you being back at the Olympics? You've been here almost like 7 or 8 times. How does it feel being in Paris for the Olympics?
One is that Olympics is a totally different space, and especially for the athletes, it really means a lot for them. Especially as for me, ever since I joined or competed in my first Olympics.
Yes.
In '96. I missed 92 because I got injured. But '96 was such a mess. So I've been close to about 7 Olympic Games. From '96, I missed only 2 or 8 in China.
Right.
But the others have been there until today, as an athlete and also an IOC member. So I want to say that it is a very emotional or touching, because Olympic happens only once in 4 years. So to an athlete, that's a most important thing. As you have said, that most of sportsmen, once you are in as an athlete, but when you get a medal, it's a totally different feeling again. That yes, I've been there and I've been able to achieve something.
Right. So what sports have you managed to watch so far, and what other sports do you enjoy watching at the Olympics?
Currently, yeah, I've been able to watch, apart from rugby, watching our boys the other day, then volleyball from our girls. Also, I've gone to shooting, beach volleyball, and many others that are still here. So I want to look forward to, we just started last week, but we are rooting for our athletes now. We just came back the other day to be able to start their competition from tomorrow fast.
Speaking of athletics, obviously you're excited. It's that's your cup of tea.
Yeah. Yes, athletics, and especially like the first day, which is tomorrow, we'll be having the finals of 10,000. And I think for me, this is something that it has eluded us for so many years. We're hoping that if the way, the feeling, the way, the excitement of the athletes, the way the coaches, the technical, and the people who have been around these athletes, I think they have done a good job. So we are hoping and praying that these athletes will be able maybe to do well and bring us the medals that we want.
Speaking on the 10,000 meters, you've touched on it briefly. Ugandans have been thorn in our flesh.
Yes.
How do we, like how do we tackle our neighbors?
No, apart from Uganda, we're also having Ethiopians. So it is not only that. But again, sport is sport. This is the apex of each and every sportsman. So for those who are here, I want to assure you that most of them are the top in the world. And so the competition itself will be able maybe to, will be open to each and everyone. But I want to assure you, it will not be easy for everyone. Even the Uganda that we are talking of,
yes,
will not be easy. Even the Ethiopians, will not be easy. This is an open competition. It will be tough one.
Right. Now, of course, Kenya has gotten a lot of support, corporate support from different entities. Safaricom has been very central in supporting. How important is that support in terms of helping Team Kenya perform at their optimum?
Yes, I want to say that we are very grateful for the support that Safaricom has come in handy to support our national team. But most importantly is that they have been with us for so many years as a National Olympic Committee. So we salute them, we appreciate, and we want to say again that Safaricom is one of our greatest partners that we appreciate. the partnership going forward.
Well, as I had mentioned, Elias Makori is not with me this time round. He's traveled to Lille. He'll be watching the action between South Sudan and the United States. And that is a clash a lot of people will be waiting in bated breath to watch because of the kind of history that those two sides have. Now, for Elias, he managed to also interact with a very, very special Kenyan. One would say is a bingo to some extent because this specific Kenyan managed to hold the Olympic flame. She was one of the few privileged individuals who were able to hold the Olympic flame, and she has quite a story.
Some point or any point feel maybe the wind will blow it and it
No, I think
off.
the joy of just holding that flame.
Yeah.
And then they're very professional.
Yeah,
Because it's a gas thing that's
it's a
put
gas
on.
thing, yeah.
And you see these guys have an extra, and it can't go off.
backup.
Yeah, he's back. So everyone had a number, so they can catch you on television, because they caught every runner on France 24. It's just 200, it's very symbolic. So it's like 200 meters between, say, where that post is.
200 is long.
Yeah, 200 is
Compared to
long.
what they did. Yeah, and then again, to see Celine performing on the top.
Oh, wow. I think that was our highlights. Because we had rumors, we had things, you know, but to see her, the resilience, the beauty, and the way she just got the mood for us, it was every moment for us was so special, Elias.
Now, on to another interesting thing is the fact that some of the athletes who are staying at the Olympics Village, remember the Olympics Village, that is a facility that is housing the thousands of athletes from around the world, about 10,000 plus athletes who are staying at the Olympics Village. Of course, some of the other athletes have decided to have their own alternative arrangement in terms of accommodation. Now, what is fascinating is the fact that some of these athletes felt like the cuisine that's being served at the Olympic Village is not to their liking to some extent, because remember, you have people who have a diverse kind of palate in terms of food. So for some of the athletes, they felt like the food is not as they would have expected. But it's obviously that's how things are sometimes when it comes to such major championships, because you can imagine people come from very, very, very different and very, very divergent backgrounds. But it was very fascinating to listen in to what this specific athlete had to say regarding the food.
Like in the village, it's not proper French cuisine like you guys might be eating, because you guys are outside the village. So for the athletes, it's a little bit more healthier. So yeah.
Hesley had an answer, I think. You wanted to say something.
I don't think it's very good, at least what we're having in the dining hall. I definitely think French food is good, but what we're having in there I don't think is the best, but it gets the job done, so.
I thought the pizza was good.
The pizza is good.
And them hamburgers.
It's cheesy.
Well, that kind of feedback, despite it being a bit diplomatic, will definitely influence the kind of food that is being prepared at the Olympics Village, and definitely the organizers will factor that kind of feedback and ensure that they're able to produce food that adheres to the kind of needs and wants that competing athletes require. Remember, they produce thousands of meals for the competing athletes, about 10,000 plus athletes who are staying at the Olympics Village. Well, that marks the end of Bonjour. Thank you so much for watching from myself and Mr. Elias Makori. Au revoir.
Bonjour, brought to you by Safaricom, a proud sponsor of Team Kenya at the Olympics.